the I-team and technology, you have probably already seen the virtual learning schedule, and you're thinking, well, how does this marry together with the resources of T&M? So I'm going to click on this example. Takes just a second. Apologies. And what we did is we showed you how they'd marry together. So this first time, if you, let's say your ELAR block is block 1, you would want the reading workshop more than likely to be live. And so I've written in ELAR, and by the way, our minutes look a little bit different from reading and writing and phonics workshops. So I said click here to look at our reading workshop minutes because they do look a little bit different. We are still following the gradual release model. If you haven't watched the workshop in action, I'd highly recommend you to do that. That is what workshop is based on. We still have very nice mini lessons and where we model, and we have guided practice, but it just looks slightly different. So in workshop, we do, as part of our hook is our connection or our focus. And what I did was the first lesson, which was for me, and I did my planning. If you watch that day-to-day step-by-step planning, is why do we read, which goes along with our performance assessment. And so here is the hook or the connection that goes with that. And then the direct teach is a model, and I have that here. And then we have, for some process and application, we have some guided practice. We also have our daily demonstration of learning. Oops, I think I still have the writing one on here. I need to fix that. No, it's the reading one. Yes. And then I just had for a turn in here. So that takes up that live 45 minutes. Then maybe you have this time that, and we have it designated a workshop or small group. It might be time that you're pulling some small group. And I recommend that you do some small group during independent work time. And I'll show you some examples of how you might do that later. But then you have this extra hour of time. Well, we've recommended 40 minutes for writer's workshop and 15 minutes for phonics workshop. So what I did was I pasted in that first lesson for writing and the first lesson for phonics here. I should have said that. Let me mark those in here so you can see. Writer's workshop. It's taking just a sec. Apologies. Writer's workshop. A writing workshop. And then phonics workshop. So you would be able to, during this time, you would be able to do both your writer's workshop and your phonics workshop. And these both could actually be done at a more asynchronous time. So you might have this lesson pre-recorded and then kids working on their demonstration of learning independently. And the same thing here with phonics. And I did talk a little bit in my step-by-step how I might do this one asynchronously. Okay. In addition, during this time, you could do some appointments, small groups, or do it on the phone, or do some different things. Like I said, I'm going to go over that in a second. So that shows how these things marry together. So what I'd like for you to do is I'd like you to stop now. And if you have a chance to plan with your PLC, actually do a day at least so you can see how these marry together. All right. I'm going to stop you, and I'll see you in just a minute.